Peace, peace, peace. I'm black. It's Young Diddy. It's unfortunate to say I'm back with a very unfortunate subject matter, but educational. And I'm here to shine light on Karen and on how Karen, not only does she misuses her power knowingly, though. So knowingly, she's consciously aware of her utilizing her white supremacy to falsify information, to conjure up white fear, fake pseudo white fear, you know. And this is just another testament to why I have a certain type of ideology, which is not a hateful ideology. It's a pro-righteous ideology. You know, don't get it misconstrued. You know, I'm pro-righteous first and foremost because all skin folk is not kinfolk. All skin folk is not kinfolk. You know, if you're a righteous individual, then Ray Charles can see that this video that I'm about to impart upon the people, then it's going to be much more vivid, you know, once I play this video, you know, because it's case after case, time after time, you know. And not only are we being hunted, but we're being hunted based off a person's sentiments, own personal, deep, secret, twisted perception that they have, you know. And the thing is that they're aware of this, you know. We as a people, black people, i.e. native blacks, i.e. foundational blacks, you know, because we are the foundation of America. Don't get it twisted now. So, we tend to catch amnesia, you know, when it comes to what's going on, you know, but it's my job to not only remind you, but to remind myself, you know, and to constantly demystify the fog, you know. I'm gonna play the video. Like Young Diddy, like, share, subscribe.
If you want to be accountable, be honest about the fact that you didn't just get afraid and make some rash decision. You actually made a calculated decision to mobilize white fear and white fragility. And when you do that, that does make you racist.
Not accepted.
So on Memorial Day, Christian Cooper, a black man, is walking through the Ramble. That is a wooded area in Central Park where he goes for bird watching.
Mind you, Central Park. So there's a deep nexus in EXUS. There's a deep connection between, once again, this goddamn Central Park, the area where the five brothers was falsely and unjustly incarcerated and accused of raping a white woman. And here we are back again. Whoa, what a coinky dink. Here we are again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, and we have another situation that is synonymous to, or that is historical, or that can be traced to a historical event, should I say. You know, so once again, Karen at work, you know, existing while black. Can't even do that, you know.
He sees Amy Cooper, a white woman who's walking her dog without a leash. Of course, Christian knows the rules of the park, which say you have to have a leash on the dog, so he asks her to put the dog on a leash, both for his safety and for the sanctity of the park and the protection of the birds. What does she do? She goes full Karen on him.
Sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
Do you see that? Like, do you hear that? Do you taste that? Like, do you really observe that? The how she conjured up this pseudo artificial fabricated white fear just because a black man respectfully asked you to attach the leash to your dog. Or why? Because society has deemed and put the black man at the bottom of the barrel. She knows this. She felt like the audacity to ask me to abide by the bylaws of this region that we're in. Really? All this was conscious. This was all conscious. Although racism, racist tendencies, propensities can be illustrated subconsciously, meaning you can illustrate racist tendencies and not even be aware of it. Stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, Young Deity.
I'm in Central Park, Alabama. I don't know.
Message to white women. This is why we call you Karen. There are few things more frustrating than white women who call the police on black people for ridiculous reasons. You know, the barbecue Beckys of the world who feel the need to enforce every single rule, to check every single law, and find ways to call the police on you if they don't feel like you're following it to the letter of the law. These are people who just want to enforce rules. These are people who feel like they have a greater sense of citizenship than the black people, so they can tell you what to do, where to do it, and how to do it. They are annoying largely because they don't understand that they aren't just getting the police involved in an internal dispute. They're not just getting law enforcement to resolve a matter of whether something is legal or not legal. When you get the police involved, you are bringing the full force of the state against people who are disproportionately charged, arrested, convicted, and certainly killed unlawfully. So when you call the police on me for something minor, you are potentially subjecting me to the violence of the state. But
mind you, like this brother just eloquently expounded on white America. If it don't apply, let it fly. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Okay, I ain't talking to everybody, disclaimer, but the police is to not be called for your convenience. And what you have to understand is that when you literally place a phone call to the police unconveniently, doing it out of convenience as opposed to an emergent nature, you're literally subjecting us to the might and to the full force of the criminal justice system, literally. And there's a high potentiality of us, lastly, dying, then seriously injured, possibly maimed, and knowing that there's a deep historical rooted history between native blacks and the slave patrols, i.e. the first job of a police officer was to catch runaway slaves. So it's deep. It's really deep, We're literally being hunted in all type of, in so many different facets, though. In so many different arenas, But let me play the video because I don't want to get too off course.
that's not what Amy Cooper did. Let me be clear about that. Amy Cooper did something far worse. She wasn't just being an obnoxious citizen who was indifferent to what the police might do when they show up. No. What she did was far more evil. She wasn't calling the police to resolve a matter. She was calling the police as a weapon, as a form of punishment against this man because he had the audacity to hold her accountable for the very same rules that Karens like to invoke all the time. So she called the police on him and says that she's doing so because she's afraid. But she's clearly not afraid. She's the one approaching him. He's saying, please stand back. Not to mention, a brother in Central Park bird watching ain't the most intimidating type. No disrespect to him, I'm just saying, let's not act like he was some hulking figure who was trying to scare her. But that's not even the point. She says to him,
Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
Can I
me.
take you to get your phone off?
Please.
She's the aggressive one. She's very hostile, very, just very confrontational, very aggressive, Now imagine if his brother didn't have the sanctity of having his phone. Imagine if he didn't have his phone, if he didn't have his phone, our phones in America, especially for black people, this is like it, this is like our breach, like our this is our form of security. You know, this is our one of our, if not the best line of defenses when it comes to relations with citizens, i.e., just males or females, Caucasians in particular. Incidents like this, and there's a litany upon litany of incidents that I can substantiate and propound to you. So don't hit me with that. This is just no. This is there's a multitude. There's more cases than not. You know. So imagine if he didn't have his phone and it was just her word. It was white. He was up against white tears, white fear, fake white tears, fake white hate. Come on. There's too many cases, Emmett Till, too many cases where brothers was falsely accused and used and abused. Young Didi, like, share, subscribe.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
She said, I'm going to tell them that an African American man is threatening my life. She's bringing up the notion of his race as a way of saying, look, I'm going to tell them you black. And when they find out you black, you know what's going to happen. She's weaponizing anti-black racism. She's weaponizing white supremacy in very deliberate fashion. And then she gets on the phone. And then she goes into full Meryl Streep mode. She's calling the police, saying she's scared. And as they're not doing what she wants fast enough, she gets more frantic. She gets louder. She sounds like she's more scared. You would think the brother was approaching her as opposed to standing back with the camera in his hand. But she does that because she knows what that will do to police. She's drawing on a long tradition that goes from Emmett Till to the Central Park 5. Yes, the Central Park 5. She's in Central Park. This is not just an ironic or sad coincidence. This is a long tradition of using the state and public space as a means of bringing the full force of state violence against black bodies. She knows what she's doing, and that's what makes this so evil. She was saying, if you don't do what I want, you might die. She's weaponizing white fragility, white tears, white womanhood, white supremacy. There's no excuse for it. And Twitter knew that. That's why, as soon as the video hit Twitter, things went nuts. People started looking for her job. They found out her name. They found out the dog's name, Henry. They found out all this information because they wanted something to happen. They wanted justice. And of course, I gotta say this, there were a whole bunch of people that weren't really outraged about what happened on the video. They were outraged about what's happening to Henry the dog. Because see, in the video, if you look, she's not just threatening to kill this black man, she's also choking the dog. And that's an awful thing. Nothing bad should happen to animals. It was just a little weird.
Mind you, I'm not surprised. Of course, the white masses would be more concerned and more fixated on the nature of the dog and the well-being of the dog than the black man. You know, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, look at Michael Vick. You know, but they fight chickens down south, though. You know, they cockfight. You know, but you don't see the PETA. What is it? The animal organization PETA, you know, protesting them now. Man, do something. Man, do something to an animal. Animals have more rights than we do. Do something to a dog. They're gonna be laws passed, legislation passed. They're gonna be rallying in the street, anarchy. They're gonna be all type of everything. Period. So another epitomizer of this visual is the epitome of double standardness in regards to the original man, woman, and child, and our white counterparts.
That a whole bunch of folk were more outraged about the dog than about the black man that was about to get killed like a dog. But they go nuts on the internet looking for her, trying to track her down, and within hours, her job is put her on paid leave or unpaid leave. They suspended her essentially. Basically, she getting fired on her day off. They came and got the dog. Oh, there were swift and quick consequences for her actions. And then she gives the apology, which is a typical paint by the numbers bullshit apology when you get caught doing racist stuff. Of course, she has to tell us she's not racist, and she apologizes to the African American community. And then,
and my best friend is black, and my brother dates a white girl. I mean, a black girl. You know, it's the same rhetoric. It's the same. If you just History does not change. It just repeats itself. It's the same narrative. It's the same antidote. Nothing has changed. Period. Nothing. 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 So all that Obama, Obama. What did Obama do? Nothing. What did Obama do specifically for black people that you can write down on paper? Nothing. I ain't talking about healthcare. Healthcare, that's for everybody. What did he do? Huh? 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 Beautiful symbol, beautiful intellect. But what did he do as far as tangibles? Nothing. Exclusively, specifically for, i.e., the black man, woman, and child. Zero, zilch, nada. You know, he was in there stepping and fetching, you know. But anyways, let me stop. I think deity, like, share, subscribe. I'm going to finish the video. It's about 45 seconds left. Pardon me.
She says that she was scared and that she didn't fully understand that she can use the police as a protection agency and other people can't. Okay, let's be very clear. First of all, by saying you were afraid, again, you're reinforcing this idea that white fear can normalize violence against black folk and unlawful practices against black folk. You weren't afraid.
But unfortunately, white fear, due to the society that we dwell in, have they have formalized white fear, which normalizes white fear reinforces the power. Pardon me. I want to recalibrate the mind. White fear, due to the power that society gives it, that in itself can be utilized falsely. It can be utilized falsely. So she took a fake sentiment, exaggerated it, stretched it, weaponized it, took something fake, fabricated, but not knowing it's reality when it comes with us. You're something that you've created falsely. It's authentic when it comes to us, though. It can turn into an actual reality based off of it being concocted and constructed falsely. Young Diddy, like, share, subscribe. Hit that like button. It's free.
You weren't. You walked toward him. You approached him. You instigated this. If you were that afraid, you could have walked away, or you could have just put the damn dog on the leash. That's not what this is about. By bringing up fear again, you try to get us to allow you to justify what you did. The other thing is, this was premeditated. You told him what you were going to do to him. You said what you were going to do on the phone, and then you went on the phone and went into a full performance. If you want to be accountable, be honest about the fact that you didn't just get afraid and make some rash decision. You actually made a calculated decision to mobilize white fear and white fragility. And when you do that, that does make you racist. That is a white supremacist action. So I don't really need or want your apology because it's not authentic.
Oh, disingenuous apology. Get out of here. They always come with that old typical apology afterwards. Like, share, subscribe. And lastly, she is another sad example of what we go through on a daily basis. You know, there's levels to the racism that honestly seems to be inherently dwelling within a high percentage of the population. And I'm talking about also self-hate, but it's also the hate produces hate, you know. So then again, but mind you, I'm going to be annexing some more pertinent pictures and documents that pertains to the subject matter. You know, white privilege, white fragility, white fear, white double standardness, in contrast to blackness, you know. Peace. Peace. I'm black. It's Young Diddy, and I'm here to illuminate on another casualty, another injustice. Another prime example of white supremacy. No, another example of white fragility mask under the guise of white supremacy. So stay tuned. I'm gonna talk less on this one.
So we rebel so you can feel our pain. We rebel so you can understand that enough is enough. We tried sitting in. We tried chanting. We tried singing. We tried rapping. We tried hashtags. We ran marathons so you listen to us. And you don't listen until you feel some of this pain.
Facts. Listen up.
On Monday, May 25th, George Floyd was killed by Minneapolis police. He was unarmed and he wasn't resisting arrest.
See that? Come on, man. Brother unarmed, man. Brother is non-threatening. But the fear of a black messiah is real. It's real. That's why I say racism is deep. It's deeper than just how you feel about a person. It's so many different levels. There's a such thing as genetic racism, But let me stop though. Like, share, subscribe, Young Deity.
Ever since that moment, the city has been up in arms. There have been protests that have gotten more and more intense over the days. The most recent protests have been so intense that a Target caught on fire, that things were destroyed, and the media and citizens are saying, why are these people rioting? Well, I'm going to tell you why. First of all, these are not riots. Riots are irrational, they're random, they're just brutal acts of violence with no...
Listen what he said, mind you, 2012, the Giants, the San Francisco Giants won the World Series. Following that ordeal, anarchy in the streets, all because they won. And this particular illustration that you see the people partaking in is the same illustration that our white counterparts was doing because they won the World Series. They was riding all out in the streets, looting and everything. So we know that the double standard, the word war, when it comes to classifying us and when it comes to classifying them, we're the thugs and they're they're the mentally insane. I had a rough upbringing, so.
I'm a reason with no purpose. These are rebellions. Rebellions are organized acts of resistance against an unjust system. What's happening in Minneapolis is no different than what happened...
A revolt, a rebellion, revolt, revolt. Like you said, there's a distinction between rioting, which is more so impulsive and irrational, but a rebellion is due to a constant influx of hate, murder, oppression being inflicted and imposed on a segment of America, i.e., the original people.
Detroit in 1967, what happened in LA in 1992, what happened in Ferguson in 2014. What's happening is people who have finally said, we have had enough and we are going to do something about it. People say, why now? Because we're tired. Black death happens every day. If black folk rebelled every time something happened that should not happen, we'd be rebelling.
Who was that? One of our sisters, one of our black luminaries, sister said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of. Pardon me for not quoting her name, but that quote came from one of our black leaders. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of. I'm tired, man.
All day. But we don't do that. But there comes a point where you've had enough. And right now we're at a moment where we can't turn on the television, we can't go to social media without seeing somebody who looks like us put down like a dog, killed by the state, killed by random white citizens, just because we're committing the crime of being black and outside. We're tired of it. We're tired of being one phone call away from a disgruntled white woman with an unleashed dog from being sent to a lynching. We're tired. We're tired. And the problem is, y'all don't listen until we do something. Martin Luther King said, the riot is the language of the unheard. Well, these rebellions are the...
Mind you, Martin Luther King, his speech, that it's like, I got it. I got the speech. It's like 5 pages. It's long, but America, they extract remnants, tidbits, and they give it maximum. They give certain aspects of that speech maximum exposure. But they don't tell you about what the brother just said. And I know he said that as long as the wheels of the wheels of revolt will always perpetually turn. As long as there's a tyranny being inflicted upon black people, Martin Luther King said the wheels of revolt will continue to turn until justice reaches its destiny. Not destiny, but basically saying is, as long as hate and tyranny and unjust treatment is being imposed upon us, then you will continue to see demonstrations and illustrations like this right here. Period.
Of the unheard. This system does not listen to Black Death. Black Death is ordinary. Black Death is common. No other race is on the news or on social media getting killed day after day after day without any warning.
No other race. No, not Asians, not Jewish Americans, not Native Americans. Not any other group that is tied to another country that has 9 times out of 10 some type of protection, some type of order of protection, should I say? So like he said, there's nobody else on TV constantly getting gunned down, choked out, beat up, punched up, thrown, hung, mysteriously hung, found hanging in there. It's that's why I say black first. Period. Okay, I ain't concerned about Okay, it's not hate. This is put itself first, man. This is the reason why here. Okay, this is the reason right here. All right, why I'm first.
Only black folk. So the reason why we have to do this is to get the nation's attention. And how do you get the nation's attention? By damaging their property and by making them feel as unsafe as we feel every single day. Now, that's not to say we should go around killing people. That's not to say we should just burn stuff up just to burn it down. But every once in a while, we have to make our voices heard. We have to make our pain known. And sometimes that means stopping a cog in the wheel of capitalism. Sometimes that means shutting down a Target. Sometimes that means stopping the status quo. When people say, oh my God, they're looting, they're stealing. That's the same outrage we feel by exploitative business. That's the same outrage we feel when a government is willing to open up the country as soon as they realize there's only black folk dying. The same unsafety and vulnerability that y'all are feeling right now, we feel every day. So we rebel so you can feel our pain. We rebel so you can understand that enough is enough. We tried sitting in. We tried chanting. We tried singing. We tried rapping. We tried hashtags. We ran marathons so you listen to us. And you don't listen until you feel some of this pain. People are saying, well, you're destroying your own neighborhoods. Look how irrational these people are. Again, stop framing black people as irrational. We're not destroying our own neighborhood. That Target might be in the hood, but we don't own it. Those businesses might be in our neighborhoods, but we don't have a financial stake in them. The truth is, our neighborhoods have been occupied and colonized since we've been here. So when we are pushing back and burning stuff down, and when we are destroying things, it's not because we don't have a plan. It's because y'all haven't listened to plan A or plan B or plan C or plan D. So by the time we get to this stage, this is all we have left. So if you want there not to be...
This is the epitome. This phenomenon is not new. Like you said, you can trace it. There's many scenarios where the voice of the unheard was illustrated in this way right here, So this is what happens when you've been oppressed for eons, you know, and it's constant, you know, and there's many forms of it, you know, there's many evolutions of it, you know, so.
Rebellions, if you don't want to see these cities on fire, then listen to us when we tell you we're in pain. Listen to us when we tell you we're vulnerable. Listen to us when we tell you we're unsafe. Listen to us when we tell you, America, you've got to do something different, because if you don't, everybody's going to experience what it's like to be in America.
Facts. Like, share, subscribe. You know? Like, share, subscribe. They act like they don't know the half, but they know the half, and they know the other half, and they know all the halves, which makes it what? One super whole. Young Didi. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get it.
You want to see him? You want to see him?
Check. G, 1, 2. God. Fair black man with a gun. Run. Fair black man with the sun. God. Hair clap bland, better run. It's gon' bang like you hear Shaq Jam when he dunk. But who set the roof on fire? The dude with the 2 hot lighters. Moon rider, shroom god rhymer. Rider, spit shit, my poof all diapers. Finna blow like a nuke on timer. Burn earth to neutron fibers. More before what you call Shriners. Booker T and you Scott Steiner. Kuta Kente son with a djembe drum. I been did what they said they done. I spread bread like Hansel and Gretel's crumbs. My 52 block chop make your sensei run. Since day one, fair black man with a gun. Run. Fair black man with the sun.